before I get going on this one, I need you to do one thing for me. I need you to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay? Did you subscribe? I knew you would. All right, here we go. Well, welcome. It's a Saturday. If you're into business, you work when you can, and Saturday is one of those days that you work. Today, I've been on the phone chasing my money. So if you work 9 to 5, you get a paycheck, W-2. This isn't something you worry about. It's not something you do. But if you have a business, a small business, or even a good-sized consulting business, in fact, the larger your business, the more money that's owed you, the more time you spend chasing it. So like I said, if you have a small business, a W-2 business where you're getting paid every week, every 2 weeks, maybe every month, this isn't something that you worry about. You're protected by law. You're protected by, this federal and state laws about being paid on time. There are some situations where that's still an iffy thing. It used to be the joke that when one of the major aircraft manufacturers would cut their paycheck to their employees would run to the bank and cash it before there was no funds left in the bank account. So that was a known thing, and that was a major aircraft manufacturer. But, in this day and age, doesn't happen as much as one would think. But you're going to start your own business. You're going to consult. Most of my stuff is a service-based business. Some of it's residuals. And even in the residuals, chasing your money. So what does chasing your money mean? It means that you're on the phone or on the tech or email or texting saying, when am I going to get paid for XYZ? I am today contacting customers overseas, asking for when am I going to get paid for XYZ. Contacting customers in the United States saying, when am I going to get paid for XYZ? And it's a lot of fun. No, this is the unfun part of the business. If you have someone if you're large enough that you can have someone that you can devote to this full time, like maybe a spouse that's tactful, or an adult child, or an adult that can tactfully talk to a customer and not really upset them, but make sure that money's collected, that's a good thing. Right now, all my family's busy, so it falls down to me to call people up and say, where's my money? Now, one of the ugly secrets of this business is that the bigger the customer, the worse it is to collect from them. Aerospace industry, when I was doing Department of Defense consulting and licensing of my software to them, a year sometimes would be what it would take to get paid. Sometimes they would forget to pay us and we'd get a check 2 years later for something we invoiced. Keep this in mind if you're going to consult with a big company. If you're going to consult through a service, which I have done before, usually they're funded and have a buffer. So like a headhunting company, or I used to do a Source Consulting, was one of the first companies I worked for, and then I've done, I can't remember, most of the major consulting companies have looked at me, or we've talked. Anderson Consulting one point in time was interested when they were a name. Anyway, they have a buffer of money and they have no excuse for not paying you on time. But that's their business. They take a huge chunk of the money that they bill the customer for your time, put it into a bank account, and then pay you a third of it. So whatever you're billing them, they're charging 2 times usually and billing the customer. But then they're chasing the money and you're not. But back to business. Consulting business, sales business, anything, you're chasing money. Just got off the phone today with a customer, client of mine, client, friend, business partner. He sold a piece of artwork for $250,000, and he's still chasing his money. He is getting dribs and drabs. People don't pay when they say they're going to pay. things like this you have to keep in mind when you go into business for yourself. You think, hey, wow, I just sold, a six-figure piece of artwork, or in this case, a $250,000 piece of artwork. All's good. No. The sale has started. The next part is collecting your money. Much like winning a lawsuit. Wow, this is great. I just won a lawsuit for XYZ dollars. Now the work starts. Now you have to collect your money. So keep this in mind. Plan ahead when you're doing a business. If you're doing a business where they're not paying in advance, you're going to be chasing your money. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you work it into the billing. I've been chasing one invoice now with one of my customers overseas. It's a sub six-figure invoice, and it's a five-figure invoice, high fives, and still chasing it. It's a year and a half on this one. They've paid all their invoices up to, but this one. The current pandemic has caused everyone to get slow, either intentionally or unintentionally. But what I'm saying, my sort of rant here today, make sure you plan to not be paid on time. That's the downside of your own business. You have to chase money, and if you can find a spouse or a partner or someone who can spend their time chasing your money for you, it might be worth the cut that they would get. Sometimes it's 50%, sometimes it's free, depending on your relationship. Make sure this person is capable of, again, chasing your money without going after and ruining your customer base. Sometimes your customers are a little bit more mercurial and flimsy than others. Sometimes they absolutely need you, and they're just waiting until you have a point of leverage on them. Like the next time they need your services, you say, oh, by the way, you still owe me for the last time. Let's get caught up, and maybe half of what we're expected to do. There's lots of tactics on this, but like I was saying, what you need to do is plan ahead. Again, find someone who can chase your money for you. And the typical model would be like a property manager. They constantly chase the money for the owners of the property who they're being renting or renting out, or things of this nature, like commercial real estate or home real estate, or a house, commercial real estate, or an apartment or house. Property manager spends their time chasing money. That's their job. That's their main job. In a business where you're consulting or you've got something going on, your accounts receivable, your money chaser, they have to make sure they don't piss off the customer while they do it. And again, well, it's worth saying, this is something you have to think about in your business. But on the other hand, you rarely can find a 9-to-5 job that pays you enough to make it worth your while. This is just the downside of running your own business. And I don't care what size the business is. Every business has this problem of chasing money. Just get used to it. So anyway, not to be a downer, but this is something to think about. So with that, almost at 9 minutes here. Wow, time flies. With that, think about it. Happy Saturday to you. I'm on the phone chasing my money, trying to get my customers to pay on time. And in some cases, they're going to have to pay bigger deposits next time. Just saying. Anyway, have a good Saturday.